So I've done quite a few Le Mans Ultimate races over the last few months, but I haven't really got any wins that I'm kind of happy with. I have got 2 wins before that were at Portimao in the McLaren when I was starting on the game, but it was very easy to get the wins. What made them so easy is because I was just in such a low split. I think I was close to lapping like some people, well, not some people, but most people in the lobby. But this race was in January of 2026. This was 4 months ago now, almost 5 months. It was at Brazil. It is multi-class, so there's GT3s and LMP2s. There was LMP3s, but no one picked them. Like, it was just, there was none. So I ain't complaining, it's less to worry about. But I actually did do a little bit of practice for this race, where usually I kind of just do 10 minutes before the race on the track, and then my practice is qualifying and the race mainly. But for this one I did actually like 45 minutes of practice. But as you can see on the top left, I am already P4 heading into this, well, not final corner, but pretty much final, heading into this final sector. But unfortunately I get a bad turn, our final turn, and then yeah, I lost most of my time.
Lap 136.88.
Green flag, green flag.
You know, I just get tapped a little bit from behind, and there is just crazy contact everywhere. That's caused by that Grello Porsche, I think it was. And if you look at that Grello Porsche who's on the right, he's kind of like the main character for this race. And now it's just about getting back into your rhythm, and I just need to hope that that LMP2 goes deep again, but I just need to keep it calm. I can definitely get P3, probably even get P1, because my qualifying was a really bad lap. I could have done way faster.
Time 151.39.
as you can see, so then coming up to the same area again, that Grello Porsche just slows down way too much on the apex, and then the McLaren actually flicks the steering wheel to turn left to not run into the back of him, which you'll see him do a lot. He just slows down just so you can't get a run on him. And this is what you see here heading this bit. He just brakes on the racing line, slow me down so I don't get a run, but I still get a better run than him anyway. And then he just tries squeezing me into the BMW behind, and then the BMW gives me a little bit of contact, and I just kind of get pinballed. And then yeah, we all go off the track, and we're sliding onto the racing line. I get hit again, and then yeah, luckily I didn't get any damage from that, but I did pit to get my front rear bumper changed. But then, one thing I forgot about this game is there is contact in the pits, and I wasn't expecting this Lexus to slow down so much into his box, and yeah, it's getting me damaged. That race was over. I did a few more laps and then I just gave up, but yeah. So for this race in Sebring, I did zero practice, like none. I didn't do a single qualifying lap, I didn't do any practice before it, nothing. So this right here is my first lap of the Sebring for the first time in a few weeks since I last drove it.
The frame rate is so bad.
So I just need to keep it clean, mainly just for the start, to not hit anyone and then ruin my race. You can already see there's people that are all bunched up behind, and I've made like 10 positions in the first corner just because of it, just hugging the inside, staying out of all the danger.
I cannot see in front of me. I'm just looking completely at the radar. Oh my days. 30 frames a second as well.
Yeah, you can hear me say I'm talking about my frame rate. I was getting about 30 to 40 frames with all this with all these cars and all this traffic. And then yeah, you see here, I just run into the back of that guy. I don't know what it was, but my brakes, like you can see on the telemetry on the bottom right, that I am using 100% of the brakes. But if you also listen, you can hear my steering wheel rattle a lot. I think because it's rattling, it's like slowing, like I just go way too deep, and I don't understand why. Like I could brake like that before, like when I drove this track in this car. I get it's cold tyres, but even then it was a bit ridiculous, so I had to brake way earlier than I normally do. So you see this guy right next to me just sends it down the inside, and I can't brake any later.
That is how you do it.
Time 2:05.37.
¿Qué pasa?
Time 2:06.24.
So heading into this lap, I've actually caught up on the Mustang that was 5 seconds ahead of me, quite a fair bit. I was starting to get used to the track a bit. But then as I'm, getting into within 1 second of him, heading into this lap, there's an LMP that just parks it in the middle of the road on the racing line, and I think that it gives him front end damage, and because of that I've been able to just fly right by. And then only a few seconds later, this McLaren just parks it on the left, and there's probably only like a few inches between me and him. So that was almost my race over as well.
Does this guy let him go or what?
And then he gives up. Then he brakes because there's the leader of the LMP2 drivers, and I brake normally like I do. And then I don't know if that is a bit of a send, to be honest, from the leader. Like, yeah, I said it was a bit perfect. I think that might have been caused by me because I did kind of cut across him, but then it's just one of those things. I definitely think I could have done better because it probably was my fault, to be honest. But again, here's just where I've pit stop troubles. I have no idea, to be honest, why I got that 1.75 points. I don't know if it's because I didn't follow the pit lane entrance line, but again, bigger issues now is I park in the wrong grid spot and then I struggle to turn it around because I've got to use my keyboard for the ignition, and then yeah, that just kind of frustrates me a lot because this is probably about 10 seconds it wastes. And then to make it even more funny, just like I did in the last race, when I drive out my pit box, I forget collisions are on the pits in this game, and then I just drive into the back of the Lamborghini, giving me suspension damage. But I did actually pit to repair it, just to make the race more bearable, but it was an okay race that just went worse just because of the pit stop. But this is 2 months later, and for me this happened the other day. I was doing night races at Le Mans. I haven't actually done a race in GT3s at Le Mans, but I haven't even really driven Le Mans at night as well. I did do a little bit of practice, about 10 minutes of practice before this. I think this was split 4 out of 30, so I did manage to actually get pole as well. But if you look at the laps that it's estimating, there's going to be 6 laps. I have 5.2 litres of fuel. No, not 5. Not 5.2 litres, but I have 5.2 laps of fuel. Because when I did check the fuel that it said it would need, it said 4 laps. But then when we started the race, it said 6 laps, or 5.9. So I started panicking, thinking that, okay, what I'm going to need to do is lift and closed a lot for this race. As you can already see, I'm kind of just lifting off now. So because of that, the guy in first place does almost overtake me, but I think he just goes way too deep into the first corner. So luckily I do preserve my lead, but I need to do a lot of lifting and coasting just to get, you know, to 6 laps of fuel.
Lap 4:04.33.
And I do end up running into the back of him because he just slows down so much, because I wasn't even expecting it. But it was a P2 in the end, which was a bit annoying because I did, you know, have pole position and it should have been an easy win. I just made 2 dumb mistakes that just cost me the win, but it's whatever. I went on, but I did feel confident after the race because I had the pace. So in the next race I was actually in split 5 out of 30.
Time 4:01.98.
Yeah, heading into the race, I made sure to put in extra fuel for this one, so I didn't have to worry about lifting and coasting, and all I had to do was just get a decent start. So I'm just waiting for the lights to go out, and I get a pretty good start compared to everyone else. Actually, I start to pull away a bit. And then heading into turn 1, you will see the greatest gift I've ever received in sim racing. As you see, a car just absolutely sends it down the inside. the car just
beautiful.
absolutely sends it down the inside and wipes out like the whole
That
top
is
four,
splendid.
and gives me already a 2-second lead over anyone else. And I think everyone behind pretty much has damage. So all I have to do now is just not crash into a wall and do anything really stupid. Which is actually what I do. I don't do anything dumb. I don't crash the car. I don't get any damage. As you see, I got an 8-second gap. I was doing pretty decent laps actually, to be honest. Yeah, headed into the Porsche curves one last time. I'm being so careful. I mean, you can already see I'm 2.5 seconds down on my best lap. It's not even because I made a mistake. I was just lifting so much. Although, like, yeah, I did start in pole position and I was a fair bit faster than everyone else. Not by much, to be honest. I think it's because they all got damaged. I was pretty happy with this win because I didn't make any mistakes. It wasn't like, you know, when I first did it in the McLaren at Portimao where I did make a few mistakes, but I managed to just keep my lead because I was way faster. I drove a clean race. Yeah, there was no overtakes, but I'm not going to slow down to give the guy in second a chance.